Most of us spend our digital lives skating across the surface of a vast, deep ocean. This is the surface web. It is everything you can find using a standard search engine like Google or Bing. Think of news websites, social media profiles, online shops and blogs. These are the public-facing, indexed parts of the internet, easily accessible and cataloged for our convenience. It is the familiar, well-lit street of the digital world where businesses have their storefronts and we share our lives with friends. It feels enormous, but in reality it represents only a tiny fraction of what the internet truly holds, perhaps less than 5% of the total. Beneath this accessible surface lies the deep web. This isn't a scary or sinister place, it is simply the part of the internet that search engines cannot see. Your online banking portal is part of the deep web. So are your private emails, your company's internal network and academic databases that require a subscription. Then there is the dark web, a small, intentionally hidden corner of the deep web. To get there, you need special software. It is a network of websites that are designed to be anonymous. Their owners are hidden, and so are their visitors. This is achieved through layers of encryption and a unique network structure. Unlike the deep web, which is hidden for mundane reasons of privacy and security, the dark web is hidden for the specific purpose of anonymity. To access the dark web, you cannot simply type an address into a regular browser. You need a special key, a piece of software that can unlock this hidden network. The most common tool for this is Tor, which stands for the Onion Router. The name itself gives a clue as to how it works. Imagine you want to send a letter without anyone knowing who sent it or where it came from. With Tor, your message is wrapped in multiple layers of encryption like the layers of an onion. This bundled data is then sent bouncing between a series of volunteer-operated computers known as nodes or relays, scattered all across the globe. Each time your data packet arrives at a new node, one layer of encryption is peeled away. This layer reveals only the location of the next node in the chain, not the final destination or the original source. The computer at that node only knows where the data just came from and where it is going next. It has no idea about the full journey. This process repeats several times, with each relay knowing only the link before and after it. This relay system makes it incredibly difficult for anyone watching the network traffic to trace the connection back from the destination website to you, the user. The websites that exist on this network are called onion sites because of their unique domain suffix. Unlike a .com or .org address, an onion address is a random-looking string of letters and numbers. These sites are not indexed by search engines and can only be reached using the Tor browser. Just as the user's identity is hidden by the Tor network, the location and identity of the person hosting the website are also hidden. The website itself is part of the same anonymizing network, meaning traffic flows both ways through the same encrypted, multi-layered relay system. This clever system of layered routing and hidden services was not initially designed for illicit purposes. In fact, its origins are quite surprising. The core technology behind Tor was developed in the mid-90s by the United States Naval Research Laboratory. Their goal was to create a secure and anonymous way for United States intelligence operatives to communicate online without revealing their locations or identities. The project was later released to the public, becoming an open-source tool maintained by a non-profit organization. At the very heart of the dark web lies the powerful concept of encryption. In simple terms, encryption is the process of scrambling information so that it can only be read by someone who possesses the correct key. Think of it as writing a message in a secret code. Without the codebook, the message is just a meaningless jumble of symbols. On the dark web, encryption is applied at every stage. The Tor browser encrypts your data before it even leaves your computer, and it remains encrypted as it travels through the network. This ensures that even if someone could intercept your data, they would not be able to understand what it says. This robust encryption is the foundation upon which anonymity is built. Anonymity on the dark web is not just about hiding your name, it is about obscuring your digital identity, specifically your IP address. Your IP address is a unique number assigned to your device that can be used to pinpoint your physical location. By routing your connection through multiple relays, Tor makes it practically impossible for the website you are visiting to see your real IP address. Instead, it sees the IP address of the final computer in the relay chain, known as the exit node. The dark web also thrives on decentralization. Unlike the surface web, where data is often stored in massive centralized servers owned by corporations like Google or Amazon, the dark web is distributed. The network is run by thousands of volunteers around the world who offer up their computers as relays. There is no central authority, no single point of failure, and no one company to subpoena for user data. This decentralized structure makes the network incredibly resilient. If some relays are shut down or compromised, the network simply reroutes traffic through other available nodes, healing itself automatically. This combination of strong encryption, user anonymity, and a decentralized network structure creates a powerful environment for free expression and privacy. It allows individuals to communicate and access information without fear of being watched or identified. For people living under oppressive regimes where online activity is heavily monitored and censored, this can be a lifeline. It provides a space where they can speak freely, organize, and access uncensored news from the outside world. This fundamental purpose, protecting privacy and enabling free speech, is often forgotten amidst the more sensational stories associated with the dark web. While its reputation is dominated by stories of criminality, the dark web actually serves a multitude of legitimate and even vital purposes. For journalists and their sources, it is an essential tool for secure communication. A whistleblower inside a powerful corporation or government agency can use the dark web to leak documents to a reporter without revealing their identity. This in turn protects them from retaliation, which could range from losing their job to facing legal charges or even physical harm. Major news organizations like the New York Times and The Guardian operate secure drop sites on the dark web specifically to receive information from anonymous sources, fostering investigative journalism that holds power to account. Beyond journalism, the dark web is a kind of sanctuary for political dissidents and human rights activists living under authoritarian governments. In countries where the internet is heavily censored and online speech is punished, the anonymity of TOR allows citizens to bypass government firewalls and access blocked websites. They can read independent news, communicate with the outside world, and organize protests without the constant fear of surveillance. For these individuals, the dark web is not some murky underworld, it's really a beacon of freedom, a digital space where they can exercise basic human rights that are denied to them in the physical world. The privacy it affords is also valued by ordinary citizens who are increasingly concerned about corporate and government surveillance. In an era where our every click, search, and purchase is tracked, logged, and analyzed, the dark web offers a way to browse the internet without leaving a trail. Some people use it simply to protect their personal data from advertisers and tech giants. Others might use it to research sensitive health topics or explore unconventional political ideas without having that information tied to their real-world identity. Furthermore, the technology itself has applications in professional security. Cybersecurity experts and law enforcement agencies use the dark web to study the tactics of hackers and criminal organizations. By observing these groups in their native environment, they can learn about new malware threats, understand how data breaches are exploited, and gather intelligence to prevent future attacks. In this context, the dark web becomes a sort of digital training ground and a source of crucial threat intelligence. It's impossible to discuss the dark web without acknowledging its most infamous aspect, the illicit markets. These are basically the digital equivalents of a black market, sprawling online bazaars where a wide variety of illegal goods and services are bought and sold. Using the anonymity of the TOR network and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Monero for transactions, these marketplaces create a seemingly safe environment for criminal commerce. They often mimic the design and user experience of legitimate e-commerce sites like eBay or Amazon, complete with vendor profiles, customer reviews, and escrow services to build a strange form of trust between anonymous buyers and sellers. The goods available on these markets are extensive and honestly deeply troubling. Illicit drugs are by far the most common category, with vendors offering everything from cannabis to potent synthetic opioids. Beyond narcotics, one can find stolen data, such as credit card numbers, hacked social media accounts, and entire databases of personal information obtained from corporate data breaches. Forged documents, counterfeit currency, and malicious software like ransomware are also common listings. These platforms operate on a global scale, connecting criminals and customers across international borders with a level of efficiency that would be impossible in the physical world. The existence of these markets poses a significant challenge for law enforcement agencies worldwide. The combination of user anonymity, encrypted communications, and decentralized payment systems makes it incredibly difficult to identify and prosecute the individuals involved. Shutting down one market often proves to be a temporary victory, as vendors and customers quickly migrate to a new platform or a successor emerges to fill the void. This constant cat-and-mouse game requires sophisticated technical skills and extensive international cooperation from police forces, who must constantly adapt their methods to keep pace with the evolving criminal landscape online. However, it's important to maintain a sense of perspective here. While these activities are dangerous and harmful, they don't represent the entirety of the dark web. The space is not one monolithic criminal enterprise. It is a network, and like any network, it hosts a diverse range of activities. The criminal element is real and significant, but it coexists alongside the activists, journalists, and privacy advocates who use the same technology for very different reasons. Ignoring the lawful uses gives a skewed and incomplete picture, just as focusing only on the positive aspects would ignore the very real dangers that lurk in these hidden corners of the internet. Despite its formidable defenses, the dark web is not a law-free zone. Law enforcement agencies around the world have dedicated significant resources to policing this hidden space. They have developed specialized cybercrime units staffed with technical experts who understand the TOR network and cryptocurrency. These teams do not just sit back and watch, they actively infiltrate and disrupt criminal operations. One of their most effective tactics is old-fashioned undercover work. Officers create fake online personas, posing as buyers or sellers on illicit marketplaces to gather evidence, build trust with criminals, and identify key players in these networks. These agencies also employ advanced technical methods to pierce the veil of anonymity. They can exploit security vulnerabilities in the software that runs dark websites just as hackers do. If they can gain control of a market server, they can unmask the identities of its administrators and users. This was the strategy used in the takedown of Alphabet and Hansa, where authorities covertly seized the servers and ran the sites for a period, collecting data on thousands of users before shutting them down. This method sends a powerful message that no one is truly safe when they engage in criminal activity online. International cooperation is absolutely essential to these efforts. Since the dark web is a global network, a criminal could be operating from one country, using a server in a second, and selling to customers in a third. A single agency acting alone is often powerless. Major successes, like the takedown of the Silk Road marketplace, have been the result of massive, coordinated operations involving law enforcement from the United States, Europe, and other parts of the world. By sharing intelligence and pooling resources, agencies can trace connections across borders and build comprehensive cases that lead to arrests and prosecutions in multiple jurisdictions. Ultimately, the battle between criminals and law enforcement on the dark web is a continuous technological arms race. As criminals develop new ways to hide, police and intelligence agencies develop new ways to find them. They analyze blockchain transactions to trace cryptocurrency flows, monitor online forums for intelligence, and work with private cybersecurity firms to identify new threats. While the dark web may offer a degree of secrecy, it is far from a safe haven for illegal enterprise. The watchers are always present in the shadows, and their reach is long, patient, and increasingly effective at bringing digital outlaws to justice.